Hello everybody and welcome. In this tutorial I'm gonna do 3 scene Houdini and we're gonna have them inside Unity. Add some Vertex Animation so they wobble a little bit in the air. And I'm also gonna do the bark inside Unity, and we're gonna do all the textures from scratch and use no other programs. So, also cover some normal issues and some loading. So, here is the bark. It's gonna look a little look like this. And the branches we're also gonna make from scratch. So, here we have, let's see. These are the lots. I'm just going to show. So we're going to make some kind of loading as well. So this is the high resolution and the middle and the smaller one. So let's get started, and we start in a fresh scene from scratch. So I'm going to copy this folder path. Like this. So I in Houdini can save the file inside Unity, and that's really nice because then we can just save all the files directly in there. So first off, geometry node, and we're gonna use the tree trunk generator. And if you don't find this, that's because you don't have this side effects labs installed, so you need to install it, and you can do that in this Houdini launch. I don't know what the name is. Houdini launcher, yeah. And I'm not gonna do any updates now, but that's where you do it. And so this branch, we're gonna have or trunk it is actually, we're gonna have it 12 meters high. And we're gonna have the radius to 1. So I like to have this to 1 because then when I change this value, then this part value will represent the half of 1. So I know that the value 0.5 is 0.5. And I'm gonna have 0.3 maybe. So what's happening? Okay, this is the point I want to work on. And I'm gonna make this a little bit like this. So this is the trunk. And you can see there are some noise in the mesh, and if I do wireframe, you see it's pretty high resolution. We can address that later because we're going to have it in the game engine. And yeah, so we're going to have the noise. Actually, when we later work on this tree trunk, we're going to do a tree branch generator like this. And if I change the noise on this one, I don't change the noise on the trunk. And what I could do is to have a tree controller. And what's really nice with the tree controller is that this one overrides some stuff on these trunk and branch. For instance, the meshing. So, and this could be interesting to tell you. You see here, the branch is booleaned, really nice. But if we turn this one off here, it's actually not boolean. So it just intersects like this. You can choose to have it on or off. You could preferably just turn it off and turn it on later. And I'm actually just going to have it on. I don't think it's bothering me so much. And Also the noise, I'm gonna, so if we just focus on the trunk, the noise is controlled from the controller on the trunk and the branch. So I'm gonna mesh noise, I'm gonna turn off. So you see it's turn off the noise on the pine tree. So pine trees generally is not that noisy or rough on the surface. It's pretty even. So let's see, meshing, and we have the mesh noise and the line noise. You see here we have a straight one, and the pine trees are very straight, but I want just a little bit. So I'm gonna intensify a little bit like this, and the reason is because then I'm gonna work on this one. So, and also we have a secondary noise, and then we're gonna do intensity 0 on that one. So now you see if we have the frequency high, we get a lot of details like this, but if we have it really low, we get this small noise, right? And that's what I'm after. I want a little bit, I want something to happen in this one. We can do offset, maybe a little bit. Make it smaller. I think this is nice. This is what I want. It's not super even. I like that. And what's also nice, you can put a curve base here. And if you press enter in here and you start to draw, and then you just plug it in, then you have your tree accordingly to that line. But I won't use that in this case. I'm just gonna have it like this. So we have the base finished. Now we want some trunks or branches. And what I want actually the first thing here, I want in general, I'm gonna focus on the placement. So there's some stuff going on here. And we're gonna do not scatter, because all these branches are scattered along the trunk. But we're gonna do edge length. And that means we're gonna have each unit, it's gonna be one new branch. So if I lower this one, you see it's gonna be a lot of them. And this is what I want, because pine trees are pretty, let's see. Pine trees are, now I'm referring my own stuff, but they are pretty tight like this, at least in the beginning when they are pretty young. So I'm gonna have pretty tight like this, and also I'm gonna have them start later, earlier down here. And so this part plays by edge length, and we're gonna do like this. Actually, I'm gonna do 2 even. And then we're gonna have a branch angle. We're gonna skip that for now. We're gonna do, let's see, length ramp. So you see here, it's kind of start here with this constant, and that this represents the whole tree trunk. So branches won't start until here. So this part here represents this part. So if I lower this part, you can see it start further down. So I'm gonna do here, well actually I'm gonna open this one up, and then I'm gonna do here linear. And we're gonna do it, flip it. So now you see that we actually have the length ramp long down here, and it's getting shorter up here. And that's exactly what I want. So, and we can also work on angle ramp, and I'm actually just gonna do the same thing on the angle ramp, linear, and also just flip it. And that's not what I expected. Well, I'm gonna flip it. Yeah. When I tested out before, it was the other way around. Very strange, but anywho, this is what I want shape-wise. And here we have the length ramp. So this is the start of the tree, and this is the top of the tree, right? So you can see the pine tree shape here. And I want the length. This is the length, the max length here. So if I do 0.5 or less, you see it are more like a pine tree shape. So this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this one. I want it a little bit shorter up here. So I'm going to take this one and drag it in a bit. So that's going to be good. And also you see the radius. We can go up here, and this is the placement, and here is the radius. And I'm going to lower the radius a bit. I don't want it be so thick, and I think this is pretty good actually. And then I go back to placement, and let's see, I'm thinking about here. So if we move this one in a little bit, so what I want to do here, I want to remove this one and this one here. I don't want them in the bottom. So I'm actually going to put a new one here. And this one I'm actually going to make from linear to constant. So that way it will kind of be constant all the way to next point and lower the value to 0. Now you see we have the lower part free. And I'm actually want this one to be closer to the bottom. So this is good. I'm going to leave it like this. And actually I think I'm going to have a little bit more length scale here. When I mean more, I mean length scale less. That means we're going to have more branches. So maybe even more of them. Yeah, maybe that's too many. So now we have the base of the branch. So I'm gonna do quick material like this. And also we're gonna make sure that we have textures. And what I have here, I already prepared. So I have this bark brown, I have the opacity white, we're going to need that, and we have the pine green. So we're going to use these. If you don't have it, you just make a really small texture in Photoshop or any other program. And I'm going to show an explorer so I know where they are. So I have them here. Actually, I can just have it like this. So in here, I'm going to take this branch and we're going to make a material. And you can see here that we have the base color. So I'm going to take the bark brown to place here. And the opacity, we're going to have white. And why we do that is because stuff I read and tutorials I looked at, they recommend us to have value in the opacity texture. So I listened to them and this is our beginning. We're going to make it transform, and we're going to make it 100 times bigger, because we're going to export it into Unity, and this is to compensate the scale difference. So we need to scale it up 100 times. Then we do a ROP FBX, and this one going to be next to our hip file where it is saved, and we have saved our hip file here, so it's going to be saved here. So if we do hip, and we're going to call it Pine301, actually LOD, we're going to make it LOD0. Save it to disk, and if we go into here, and then we just drag into it to our scene, and we have the connection made. So now we're just going to make this look really nice. So we could go on and add more branches to this, but we don't really do need that. But if we would, it would look like this, and we could add more branches to it. And then you could add more, of course, and go on. But we don't need that in this case. And yeah, because I do this Boolean operation, it sometimes takes a little bit longer time. So I'm actually going to turn this, where is it? So I'm going to take this intersection behavior, Boolean, normal, and blending. I'm going to turn it off at the moment, because it's going to go faster when we work with this. So I also want to make these edges not this flat. I want to fix them as well. So this is going to be the, let's see, it's going to be in the radius. And here at the end, we're going to make a new point, and this one I'm just going to make down like that. So that looks nice. And let's see. And we have, all right, so now we're going to make leaves, actually pine leaves or whatever it's called. But if we do leaf, we have labs tree simple leaf, and it will look like this, a simple leaf, super nice. And then we're going to do here, we're going to do a labs tree leaf generator. So we're going to make sure that we plug it in like this, and then we scatter leaves on the tree. And we're going to change this to look better, but we're going to work with this first. So if we just plug this one in, and now we're going to change this quick material to be on the branches. We're going to have another one here, and this one going to be, so this is going to be bark, this is going to be yeah, leaf. We're going to change that, but it's going to be a leaf at the moment. And we're going to change this to the pine green texture that we made. And this should be nice and work. So if we save this one to disk, now we have it like this. So this starts to getting closer to a pine tree. This is super nice. I'm gonna quit this tutorial here, and in the next one I'm gonna continue, and we're gonna change these leaves into be quads or planes. That's gonna represent branches, so we can be a little bit more effective. So I'm going to show you, if I do this one, pine, this one here, we're going to make it look like this instead, because all these ones is all these quads gonna represent a branch instead. So see you in the next one. Thank you so much.